Okay. All right. Good afternoon and welcome to Yass on Bar TV. Chris Coleman bringing you this Osbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup Round 13 match. For aficionados of the TV series Game of Thrones, you can forget winter is coming. Winter is here. It has been raining on and off. There's been a little bit of sleet around today. Currently 10 degrees, feels like 7. According to the Bureau of Meteorology, the ground runs east-west. The east is to the left of your screen, and the wind is blowing towards that end of the ground. West Belconnen Warriors to kick off. The Yass Magpies to receive. Deep kick off, right under the posts. And the Yass guys bring it out through Sopani Ayalupo. He'll make plenty of distance during the course of the day. That's Josh Hall. Great contest in the offing here. 3rd versus 5th on the table. The Norton boys have done a great job with the Yass Magpies, but this is really where the run to the final starts for them. Was that Mitch Smith out there early? I think it might have been. Starting on the bench. The first kick comes downfield from the Magpies. It's toying with the sideline was Chris Thorley, the West Belconnen Warriors fullback. Turns around, runs infield. They don't make any great ground at the moment. Cam Scott, that was. Both these sides very much feeling each other out. It's actually Josh Newling I'd seen as the bench player off there, not Mitch Smith. So there we go. For the Magpies, the number 15 starting. Ball comes free. So Yass get the first real attacking opportunity here. A couple of players trying to lift up Big Satogi. You'd need a crane to do that. That's Josh Newling. He's the man off the bench who I mentioned. He's been pushed up into the starting 13. Oh, and Mitch Smith is out there as well because he's running through, and that's him on the ball now. Was down to start on the bench in number 17, but elevated to the starting 13. So always fun when we come to these grounds. Don't quite know who we're going to get in the starting 13. We get the list. Then changes sometimes. That's Benny Warner. This will add a bit of colour to the game too today, by the way. We've got Benny Warner and Ben Warner. So Ben Warner is referred to as Chook Warner. You'll get used to it. They've both got brothers called Tom, apparently, as well. Scott Norton loses the ball. Warriors come up with it. So first attacking opportunity for the game goes begging. This West Belconnen side, defending premiers, of course, in the Canberra Raiders Cup. They haven't had the best of starts to the season, but they've started to put a few points together on the field and have started to make a big push for the finals. That was Riley Thomas. Through hands, on to Tim Sloman. Now gets it out to Taniela Moa. He's a man we've seen with plenty of speed through the course of this season. Gets up over the halfway line. Now Sam Finnegan, a dummy half, gives it across to Robert Roberts. Back slam tackle from Sam Satogi. These conditions wouldn't worry him at all. He played in Orange last year. It's very cold up there. I know, I've lived there twice. So he'd almost find this tropical out there. Ball goes to ground. We'll get a scrum or a penalty. Scrum coming down here. So what have we got? We've got Newling and Mitch Smith out there off the bench in the forwards. So that's a really interesting call from Norton. Steve Norton, the captain coach of the Yass Magpies. And for West Belconnen, I see Harrison Watman is out there as well in 15, starting in the forwards. So a bit of a change. Andrew Swaffield. Normally it's easy to pick the bloke in the white headgear, but there's 3 of them out there for Yass today. That was Smith's. And again, Satogi. The softening up courtesy of the forwards continues. You can see Steve Norton in the headgear. This side, ball goes the other way through Scott Norton. And then, just because we can, we have a 4th player out there in headgear for the Yass side. And that looks like Willie Peace. Another kick downfield, Chris Thorley. Kind of disappointed that Andrew Swaffield's wearing the headgear out there today, because otherwise we would have been able to tell you it was the battle of the bald fullbacks today. Both Swaffield and Thorley very, very shiny under the lights here that are already on at Walker Park in Yass. Go across to the right to the Warriors with Ashland. real breaks as yet. That's Tory Freeman key. I've been impressed with him a couple of times. I've seen him this season. He's very hard to stop. You've got to get him early. Once he's got some speed, he really can do some damage to the line. Kick comes from McQueen. Swaffield gets it. Up over the 30. Can't find a gap. Tackled by Finnegan and one other. They come across to the right. Cut out pass. Sam Satogi again. Yass are making plenty of metres through the middle of the park. Not quite so easy down at the end. West Belconnen Warriors, well, they're not making too many metres at all except in the kicking game. So we've seen a lot more of the game played in the attacking half for the Yass Magpies than we have elsewhere in this first 5 minutes. Scott Norton at dummy half. Offloads, gives it to Mitch Smith. Smith makes another 10 metres. That's the 30-metre line they're encroaching on. Last tackle called from the referee. Across to the right. Kick again from Steve Norton. No, he dummies and goes himself. Gets up inside the 20. Not tackled. Can he offload? He had a flying Newling there. Couldn't get it to him. Gives it across now, the little kick. And that might be a try. I think it is. Referee comes in and awards the try. First points of the day to Yass. 4-0, 5 minutes gone. It's Jesse Collins, the try scorer. Getting on the end of the kick from Scott Norton. Norton. I wonder if he can be credited for multiple assists in the lead up to the try because he did an awful lot of work in there. Normally you'd hear me talking about what's going on the replay action. Unfortunately, I can't do that for you today on Bar TV. I'm in a commentary box about, 12 feet above our screen, which is under a marquee to protect it from the rain here on the ground. So we'll let the replays play out and you can just enjoy the action there. Jesse Collins, his 4th try for the season. And if I remember rightly, the leading try scorer for Yass for the season is Andrew Swaffield with 5. So a big chance for Jesse Collins to level that up today. It's fascinating actually having a look at those try scoring stats. I'll give you some more on that in a moment. As the conversion, not the easiest of conversions, is completed by Sean Davis. Sean Davis, his 40th goal for the season as well. So we've been playing 7 minutes, and it's 6-0 to Yass after the Jesse Collins try in the corner. Good start for Yass. And just showing the value of these Norton boys. They've really done a great job with this Yass side through the early part of the season. West Belconnen, they're not quite at the stage where every game is a virtual elimination final for them, but they do need to do better in the second half of the season than they did in the first. They're only 1 point out of the top 4. They can't make it up there today, even with a win today. Team above them has the bye, so a win today will keep them 1 point behind the top 4. And what I was going to say about the Yass Magpies, unless I'm mistaken, every player in their 1 to 13, the original name starting 13, has scored at least 1 try this season, except for 1. Chook Warner, I don't think has crossed the stripe this season. I'm perfectly willing to stand corrected on that if the locals know any better than me. But as far as I'm aware, everyone there, other than Chook Warner, has crossed the stripe at least once. Not quite as many for West Belconnen. They have 2 players who haven't scored tries in their starting 13, and only one of the bench players, and that's Daniel Killick-Moran in 20. You'll see later today he's only scored 1 try, and that may have actually been against Yass earlier in the season. Not sure, I'd have to dig that one out. Let's get back to live action though. Mitch Shaw takes 3 Yass players to tackle him, and then we get a whistle for not getting up quickly enough. So West Belconnen able to bounce back a little bit here after conceding the early points. They do have the wind in the first half, so that should work well for them, especially on the penalty kicks like that. Plenty of distance made there. They're up to the 30-metre line already. That's Moa. takes the tap, gives it across to Sloman. Sloman through to Watman. Watman offloads. Sloman, the man who'd got back in there. Finnegan at dummy half. Goes across to the right now. Thought it was going to go past Watman. He did well to get onto that. Might have caught him on just half by surprise. Up inside the 20. So into the red zone go the Warriors. They continue to the right. That's Ashland. Right in front of the posts. The American football style posts here at Yass. Roberts. Long ball. Harbour Bridge pass. Gets across to Scott. Scott looks for the line, but he's wrapped up. Good tackle. Who got him there? I think that might have been Jay Smith. It was. They come back through Thorley. Thorley shapes to kick. Changes his mind. Is he held up short or held up over? Held up short. Last tackle. What options do the Warriors have? Roberts. I think he's lost that forward. He has lost that forward. So attacking rate comes to naught, and it'll be a handover to the Yass Magpies. Via the scrum, which will set down 10 metres out from their own line. Home side doing well to repel the attack from the Warriors. That's Willie Pearce. One of the New Zealand imports for Yass for this year. Making plenty of ground, Yass. It's been the story of the opening 10 minutes of this game. Newling. Up to the 30. And the headgear, that'll be Norton, Steve Norton. There we go, the three players with the white headgear all grouped together. You've got Chuck Warner in the dummy half, he's one of them. And the kick down the corner again. Gee, they're working this corner there between Thorley and Cameron Scott. Thorley scored 3 tries this season, and he's dropped the ball this time. Lost it forward, so it'll be a scrum to Yass, 10 metres out, right in front of the posts. Big opportunity for the Magpies. As I said, they sit third on the competition table. 6 wins, 3 losses and 1 draw. West Belconnen, from their 10 games, 4 wins and 6 losses. Not sure how many more losses West Belconnen can afford this season. Probably only 2. And they wouldn't want to lose this one. Here at Yass this afternoon, Willie Pearce. Change in direction. I give it to the big man in Smith, Mitch Smith. He's only a couple of metres out. Options left and right, and it's been intercepted. And some good defence. And there, I think there might have been Warner getting there underneath. Was indeed, because if he hadn't made that tackle, it was off to the races for the Warriors. Instead, they're still inside their own quarter. Starting to look around at options. That was Ashland. Gives it across to Taniela Moa. Said Moa was hard to stop earlier today. You see him there. Gets up to the halfway line. Now it's Tim Sloman. Finnegan. There's Ashland again. Now it's with Brebner. Connor Brebner. Finds a pass out the back. Roberts does well to pick it up. Does even better to find a target there. Riley Thomas looking for a gap. Gets a half a gap. Still going. They finally lift one of his legs and bring him down. Last tackle. So on the 30. Any way that the Warriors can engineer a repeat set? I don't think so. Swaffield up to the task of fielding the grubber. Gets it back up to the 20. Now was the marker square there? Might not have been, but they've got away with it. Connor Brebner was very, very quick into the tackle. I think we can say that Connor Brebner, one of the more enthusiastic tacklers in the West Belconnen side. Benny Warner now for the Yass Magpies. 3 in the tackle. One of those is Tory Freeman Key. Also in there was Sam Finnegan and Ryan McQueen. Plenty of ball movement from this Yass side. Not quite making meterage as quickly this time as they have in previous sets. That's the last tackle. The kick will be from inside their own half. Scott Norton goes for the aerial route. Chris Thorley takes it comfortably just outside his 20. Gives it across now to Scott. Scott makes it to the 30. He's lifted up. Gets a little bit past the horizontal. Good work from Benny Warner to actually put him back down again because momentum could have proved very nasty in that situation. So good football. Moa brings it up again for the Warriors. Up to the 40. He makes 4 or 5 metres in the tackle almost every time, does Moa. I've seen him a couple of times this year. He really has impressed me. Bit of a juggle from Connor Brebner. Probably would have been better served to hold on to it. In fact, definitely would have been better served to hold on to it because it's been dived on the loose ball by Newling and we've got a turnover in attacking territory. Sean Davis now for the Magpies. Love these Magpies jumpers. They are a commentator's dream. Big white numbers on a big black background. A lot of clubs could learn from that. We see Mitch Smith now up to the 30. Across to the right. Goes through Steve Norton. Now it's on to Satogi. Now they go back to the left. You see Sean Davis. Ball comes free again in the far corner of the ground. Now it's picked up by Chris Thorley. He can be a slippery customer. He's holding onto the ball. Brought down by 3 Magpies players. But he's up to the 30. Good starting point for the Warriors this time. If they can get it through hands, they've got an overlap. But instead they continue up the middle of the park. Had numbers over to the left. Still have numbers over to the left if they can go quickly with it. They go right instead. Finnegan a dummy half, gave it to Shaw. Shaw spots the smallest of gaps, goes straight to it. He's got Swaffield in front of him. He doesn't try to go around him. He tries to go straight over the top of him. Treats him as a speed bump. Slows down. But good attacking now for the Warriors. It's McQueen. 10 metres out. Which way can they go? Back across to the left it comes. Brebner onto Ashland. Ashland pushing and pushing and pushing. He's 2 metres short. Great chance for the Warriors to strike here. Finnegan. Slow pass to Roberts. Kick comes through. Almost a slips catch there from Benny Warner. Couldn't take the catch. Turned around, retrieved it from behind him. Hasn't been called held, so he goes on hands and knees. Makes another 6 inches, if that. And now the penalty for not being back the 10. Well, that's just got sloppy all over the place there. All the West Belconnen Warriors had to do was put a hand on the back of Warner and it would have counted as a tackle because he was down. Nobody did, so he started to crawl. How far was he going to get with that? And then because the line had come up at the time that he was crawling there, when he got up to play the ball, there was a couple of players from the Warriors up inside the 10. So on the ensuing penalty, play returns to the halfway line. Quick tap taken by Chook Warner. He gives it across through hands to Hall. That's Josh Hall. Warner again. Mitch Smith. Gee, he's been impressive in these first 20 minutes. He's been involved in every set, I reckon, as has this bloke, Satogi, Sam Satogi. Firm grip on the ball. 2 Warriors bring him to ground. Warner at dummy half, gives it across to Steve Norton. Steve Norton to Hall again. Close to the line. Referee calls held. There was a chance in close, but instead they go for the long ball to Scott Norton. Comes back around to Scott Norton again. Through hands to Sean Davis. Ball tapped down by, I think it was Ricky Fullerby. He doesn't look terribly happy with himself. Ball goes free. And we actually get a stoppage on the clock, I think. First time for the day. 22 minutes remaining in the first half. Well, we weren't expecting this to be a high-scoring affair, and thus far it has not been. Defence from these sides has been pretty good in recent weeks. Just having a look back to when these sides played in round 3 of the Canberra Raiders Cup. It was an 18-14 win to the Yass Magpies after it was 10 apiece at half-time. That was a cracking game. Let's hope we get one equally as good here today. Yass with multiple tackles remaining here in close quarters. Long ball, Norton to Norton. How many times do you reckon that happened in the backyard when they were young? Sean Davis now. He's at the 10. The entire Yass side spread out across the field now. Somersaulting in the tackle was Willie Peace. Across to the right, Steve Norton. Run around play from Benny Warner. West Belconnen defence doing a great job of defending on their own 10-metre line almost. Kick comes from Swaffield, dived on, Warriors ball. Disappointing end. Probably would have been better to kick outside as opposed to back on the inside, but I understand the logic of changing the point of attack. West Belconnen had been moving across that way. Mower for the Warriors in the bottom of that pack. She's West Belconnen playing on at all costs, tossing the ball around with gay abandon, and I reckon that's the third time. Well, they've got lucky with that one. They've got lucky there. The referee has called time off and said you can have another play of the ball there. Must have been a call of held in there before the ball popped out the back, but geez, that's a bit of luck for the Warriors. They've got to get some sustained possession together. They kick early in the count from Finnegan, taken on the full by Swaffield. Up over the 30, makes it to the 40, or just short thereof. Scott Norton comes into dummy half, has 3 or 4 running players, gives it to Peace. Peace still his side of halfway, across to the right again. Daneljak, still going. Is that his first touch of the ball? I think it is. Now through Mitch Smith. Smith almost up to the 30. Slow to get up to play it here. Yass gets set. Scott Norton on to Sopani Ayalupo. 5 and last is the call. It's with Steve Norton. Puts a little chip kick in. Taken by a flying Jay Smith. Smith loses it. Backwards behind him. Picked up by Swaffield after it goes through hands. But right in the corner of the field. Couldn't get much closer to the corner. Maybe 2 metres across and 1 metre back. It's a changeover. So this will be a tough set for the Warriors to bring it out. Connor Brebner tries. Still inside his 10. Finnegan pushes and pushes. Not Finnegan. Ashland, apologies. Very similar hairstyles on the two of them. That was Sloman. This time it's Finnegan. And Finnegan loses the ball. Picked up by Ayalupo. He makes 10 metres. And again, the Yass side in the attack through Scott Norton. Gives it off to Sean Davis. Davis wrapped up. Chook Warner in at dummy half. Now it's with Smith. Mitch Smith. We've got 2 Smiths, 2 Warners and 2 Nortons out there today for the Yass Magpies. Ayalupo. Only one of him. The Warriors are probably quite happy to know that. Chook Warner at dummy half. Long ball. Gives it across to Scott Norton. Scott Norton on to Davis. Davis finds Peace. As in Willie Peace, not World Peace. Ball comes back around. Through Scott Norton again. Long ball to Steve Norton. Right across the field. That's magnificent football. Benny Warner charges for the corner. Gives it across to the winger in Jay Smith. And Jay Smith is pushed into touch. Good defence. Desperation stakes from the Warriors. So the Warriors will get the ball back. But gee, they want more. They want more of it, and they want it in a better spot. They could almost take up squatters' rights down that end of the field at the moment, the West Belconnen Warriors. They've hardly been outside their own 30 for the last 3 or 4 minutes. And they've only really had a couple of runs probably inside the opposition 30 in what, the first 22 minutes we've had played here in this game. 6-0 the score. Yes, Magpies over the West Belconnen Warriors. You're watching the Osbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup on Bar TV. Chris Coleman calling the shots for you this afternoon. Ricky Fullerby with the ball now. I'm sure I went to school with Ricky's dad. I'm almost positive I went to school with his old man. Tory Freeman Key hasn't been involved as much as he would like today. Gets up over the 30. Now it's with Ashland. Ashland plays it back to Finnegan. Little ball out the back to McQueen. Ryan McQueen, he's wrapped up around the ankles. Who did that? Norton again. Scott Norton. Geez, having a good game. Just cutting off the attack from the Warriors in their prime. Thomas across to Freeman Key. Would have liked to have seen Tory Freeman Key get a step inside there, but he's actually picked up a penalty. Okay. Lifted up a little bit in the tackle. got up above the horizontal, but gee, it was only 2 foot off the ground. Brebner, they tap and go, so the Warriors looking to keep the momentum they had there. Now, we haven't seen much of Bailey Lockhead today. It's only just come on. He managed to crib another couple of metres there when the referee wasn't looking. Roberts towards the line. Just short, pushed sideways, brought to ground. Can't be more than a metre out. Finnegan, long ball, finds McQueen. McQueen has no options. He's been wrapped up in the tackle. Gets the ball out the back. Picked up by Thorley. But I think the referee's called it lost forward and then bounced back. He's closer than I am. So I can't argue with that decision. And going from the lack of protest out there from the Warriors, I reckon they know that as well. Tight game of footy here at Yass this afternoon. Plenty of people here to watch. 3 tiers of parking on the southern side of the ground, and the lower level and the next level up, there's cars right across. Bit of space up the top deck. Plenty of people watching from their cars to the eastern and western end of the ground as well. So great to see plenty of people from Yass turning out. I'm sure there's a sprinkling who've made the trip up from Kippax and the Belconnen area. And wherever you're watching this afternoon, remember you can get in touch with us via Twitter as well if you use the hashtag CRCup. So the Yass Magpies through Kyle Danilchak now get up over the 30. The defence has certainly lifted in intensity from the Warriors now. Yass not making yards as quickly as they were in the first 15 minutes of the game. Newling wrapped up on the 40. Kick comes downfield from Matt Lawrence, so there's another one in the light headgear. Like I said, got great jumpers for the commentators. When you've got 4 players out there in white headgear, that doesn't necessarily help us a great deal. Ricky Fullerby, he's unmistakable out there. Inside the halfway line. Now it's with Moa. And the wind has just picked up here. And I say the wind has just picked up here because it's literally just picked up a tent on the sideline and very nearly blew it into the field of play. You can't see that on the camera, but I can tell you there's a lot of action happening just down to our right here as they try to secure this thing. We'll keep an eye on the play at the moment. McQueen, that is. Last tackle called. Thorley's calling for it. He's seen something. Instead it goes to Freeman Key. Tory Freeman Key puts a little kick through. Thorley chases it and wraps up Swaffield. And then we get the secondary tackle in there as well. Bit of a juggle. Yes, have done well to hang on to it. Thorley's dropped back ready for the early kick, which might be coming. Willie Peace can only go sideways. Good tackle from Brebner and Sloman in amongst it. Still inside the 30. You can see what I mean here. Yass not making ground as fast as they were earlier in the game now. That was Josh Hall. That's Steve Norton. And now Scott Norton with the kick, and he's kicked it out on the full. Great chance here for the Warriors now. I've said that a few times. They've just really lacked the finishing skills that they've needed this afternoon. The referee. No. I want you on that blade of grass. That one 2 blades to the left of where you're standing. I really don't think the extra 6 inches was going to make that much difference, but the referee wanted the player was where he had them, so that's it. Brebner takes it up. That's the 30-metre line they're on. There's big Daniel Killick-Moran. He's a hard man to stop because he is an absolute monster. He charges for the line. He's wrapped up. Good tackle from Jesse Collins. But they've got 4 tackles and virtually no distance to go. I think that might be Sam Finnegan trying to dart across from dummy half. Referee says offside for the Yass side. I don't know whether the Warriors are terribly thrilled about that. They have to take it back to the 10. Killick-Moran again. Pushing and barging 2 metres out. Freeman gives it to McQueen. McQueen finds Freeman Key. Quick play the ball. Lockhead tries to run it across field. Wrapped up eventually. No, still going. Now he's called held. Crabs another metre towards the line. They need a long ball here to the Warriors. Instead, it's Connor Brebner trying to run it himself. Had options out to his left. Now they go to the left, but Yass has been able to come across in defence. Long ball, and it's been tapped and knocked forward there by Jay Smith. So it'll be another set for the West Belconnen Warriors. I think they've had one repeat set down this end earlier in the game. This will be the first time they've had 3 sets in a row. See a few players taking advantage of a quick bit of water. What a difference Killick Moran's made in the 20 jersey. I'm told he wears the 20 jersey when he comes off the bench because it's the only reserves jersey they've got that'll fit him. Thorley on the 10. Pushes a bit forward as the fullback. If West Belconnen don't score here as Brebner goes for the line, they'll start to wonder what they've got to do to actually get in the book this afternoon. Bullet past to Lockhead, Bailey Lockhead. Trying to run it through is Finnegan towards the line. He's close to the line, and I think he might have just got it over the line. Referee says held up, so there you go. We'll come back to the 10-metre line. Couldn't have been much in that. Blade of grass, and that's about it. Roberts. Now it's Thorley. Still going Thorley. Wrapped up by Steve Norton. Thorley plays it back to Moa. Moa goes himself. Looking for that gap to duck into. Couldn't find it. Last tackle called. They've had 3 sets in a row. And they've lost the ball to the opposition. Well fielded by Daniel Jack, I think it was. And after 3 sets in a row, the Magpies come up with the ball, and then the Warriors give away a penalty. 6-0, 10 to go till the break. It is a grey afternoon here in Yass. The weather has actually probably been better for this game so far than for any of the curtain raiser games. I know the women played their league tag game earlier today in a considerably cold, wet and windy Walker Park. There were a few showers through the reserve grade game as well, which went right down to the wire. But thus far, I don't think we've had any actual rain during this fixture. A bit hard for me to tell. I am behind glass, and I'm not complaining about that one little bit. Scott Norton in a dummy half. He just directs the traffic so well from in there, doesn't he? That was Benny Warner. Now they give it across through Steve Norton. Lupo wrapped up inside his 40. Now it's Newling. Newling loses the ball in the tackle. Referee says it was lost before the call of held. It's picked up by Jacob Graham, his first involvement today for the Warriors. They're going across to the right through Lockhead. Lockhead still going up to the 30. They just need to work on possession here, the Warriors. They've been too keen to give the ball away. Killick Moran, he's a difficult man to stop. He's also found the ball a difficult thing to hold on to, loses it forward. There's a bit of frustration creeping in there. I saw a couple of the Warriors players gesturing just a little bit in frustration. They'll know for sure that they have given away the ball far too easily on too many occasions this afternoon. About 8 to go before half time. Warriors having to shuffle a few players around to get a pack down in the scrum there. We end up with the fullback, Chris Thorley, packing down at the back of it. So what that says about scrums in the modern day game, I'm not entirely sure. Saipani Ayalupo, he's a big man. He's not terribly happy at being held down there by Taniela Moa. Now it's Danilchak. Danilchak still going. Brought down by Lockhead and Killick Moran. They come across to the right through Ayalupo. Ayalupo breaks through the line. That's a genuine line break. If he can get past Thorley, he'll go all the way. Thorley's hanging on for grim death. 15 metres left on this run. Norton. That's Scott Norton. on the 10-metre line. Last tackle called. Norton back to Norton. Out the back door to Swaffield. Swaffield out the back door to, well, nobody in particular. Eventually picked up by Lawrence. Lawrence juggles it around. It goes to ground, goes forward. And Tory Freeman Key was chasing after that. Had he been able to get hold of it, it would have been very interesting because there was nothing but wide open spaces for the next 70 metres. The Yass player got a hand on it and dragged it away from Freeman Key. Full of eye. No, not full of eye, it's the other bloke. So there you go. I said full of eye, unmistakable, and I've seen Scott's out there with a similar looking beard. He didn't have that last time I saw him, so there you go. Must be a competition between the two wingers. Magpies not lucky not to get pinged there from Ialupo being offside. He put the hands up. Loses his footing to Roberts, the 5'8". Gets a kick away. Not as good as he would have liked. It's taken by Collins, Jesse Collins, up over the 40-metre line now. So Yass on the attack again through Peace. Now that is Dave Ramoni in the 16 jersey, and if I've got it right, that's his debut for the club, for the Magpies, Dave Ramoni? No, just his first game for the season. Okay, there we go. So hasn't played this season, played a bit of reserve grade. His first game for the season. Misinformed prior to the game, so nice of the guys in the box to let me know that one. Steve Norton, long ball, gives it across to Matt Lawrence. Lawrence with the kick. Picked up, that's Ricky Full of Eye now. Full of Eye slips across again. Wrapped up by Steve Norton. Need to just get a little bit more urgency about things, but at the same time not give away the ball in silly ways, the West Belconnen Warriors. So got Full of Eye up over the 30. Trying to play for the penalty. I just think they should give up on that idea. Just by all means play fast. Play the quick play of the ball, but don't ask for the penalty. The referee will give it if he sees one. McQueen on to Freeman Key. He's still going as Tory Freeman Key. Look at that, makes another 5 metres with 3 Magpies players hanging off him. Come across to the left. No, go to the right instead with a kick from Graham towards the corner. Swaffield gets it in the corner, goes for the long ball, gives it across to Jai Smith. Now Smith, if he's quick, can get around here, but up fast enough was Tim Sloman, ably assisted by Roberts. Killick Moran in there too. We've got about 4 minutes till the break. Just one try in the first half. And the Magpies looking to get out from inside their own 30 again. Can't quite do it. Willie Peace that time. Still wrapped up. Scott Norton. Thought he was going to go for the long ball. Instead went for a player in closer. Kick comes from Lawrence. He meets some resistance after letting the ball go. Thorley's taken that on the full and at full tilt and gets back up almost to halfway. Now it's with Scott. That's the 40. From dummy half goes Graham. They make another 10. Whistle blows. Bit of a hold of the jersey in there. So the Warriors, well, they've been unable to take advantage of repeat sets earlier today. Daniel Killick Moran wanted to be off to the races. Referee says, I'm not ready yet. And now he's binned him, has he? Oh, he sent the strapper off. He's given the strapper 10 in the bin. There's something you don't see every day. Doesn't matter what you expect when you come to the football. You'll always see something that you don't expect. They're across to the right, the Warriors. That was McQueen. Freeman Key. That's Graham across to Killick Moran. Killick Moran bounces out of one, bounces out of the second, finds a free arm, gives it across to Roberts. Roberts has given it to Scott, and Scott scores in the corner. I'd like to say it's been coming, but gee, that would have been, I think, just saying too much. The Warriors have really struggled to finish today, so Cameron Scott getting over in the corner in the shadow of half-time. Somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes left on the clock. In fact, less than 1 minute on the clock. So you would imagine that the last last play of this half will be the conversion attempt. Now, Roberts has got quite a few this year. I've had to share the goal kicking around a bit, though, at West Belconnen. And there's someone down for the Magpies as well. Right in front of the posts, or just this side of the posts. And all I can see of him at the moment is his socks. So I can't tell you anymore. We'll keep an eye on that. With the Yass player down, the clock has officially stopped. With 36 seconds remaining till half time. And I'm just wondering here, will Roberts be able to take this kick? He won't be able to take the kick until the player's moved. Just not that you'd expect it to land on him, but if it dropped short, because he's right in the path. So this will hold things up just a little bit here. I'm not sure if you're getting any replay action or not. Like I said, I can't see our replay screen today, courtesy of our camera operator being on top of the officials box here. I've been allocated about 3 square feet on the bench, and our vision mixers are downstairs, so I can't tell you what's going on our replays at the moment. It's Dave Ramoni. He's only been on for 5 or 6 minutes. So was that the tackle where Killick Moran tried to take him on as a speed bump? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's never going to end well. Reminiscent of Jonah Lomu in the Rugby World Cup back in the 90s, wasn't it? Where he just decided the easiest way, the path of least resistance, was to actually go straight over the top of the guy trying to tackle him. Killick Moran is a big unit. I can see him down in front of our commentary position right now. He stands almost a head above everyone else on that side, on that team that he plays with. He's a very big boy. So time goes back on. 34 seconds remaining, and I can't imagine either side will be terribly keen for anything else to happen in this half. The touches are in position. The referee's behind the ball. Roberts has 17 goals for the season. By the way, that try for Cameron Scott, his first try for the season for the West Belconnen Warriors. So congratulations to him. That'll add some relief for him at the end of training, at the end of the season, I'm sure. And with seconds left on the clock, Roberts sends it goalwards. That's a pretty good-looking kick, and it makes it just over the bar. We started the game all square. We get to half-time, and it's all square, 6 points apiece. It was a try early for Yass by Jesse Collins. It was a converted try in the corner, set up by Scott Norton, who did a lot of running and then put a very clever kick through. And then we've seen a lot of fierce defence in this game, leading up to the try from Cameron Scott in the corner after it went through hands, with a bit of good lead-up work from Daniel Killick Moran, who flattened a tackler on the way through in Dave Ramoni. Not sure if we'll see Ramoni back on in the second half. I hope we do. It's his first game for the season. He would have been looking forward to it. But as we have the break here at Walker Park in Yass in the Osbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup Round 13 fixture, the match of the day, and it has lived up to that billing. It is 6 points apiece. Yass Magpies and West Belconnen Warriors at half-time. The second half about to get underway in this extremely important Ospreyers Canberra Raiders Cup Round 13 match between the Yass Magpies and the West Belconnen Warriors. 6 points apiece, 40 minutes to play, third versus fifth. So it'll be Yass running to the left of your screen. I'm just looking to see if Dave Ramoni has gone back out there. I can't see him. He's down on the sideline. So he's on his way up. So hopefully he gets back out there. But that's something we will see as time passes. Thorley gets underneath it, takes the kick off, and makes some metres already. Up to the 30 for West Belconnen. The wind, I think, has moved around just a little bit. There's a little bit more southerly in it, so blowing in towards your camera, or our camera, a little bit more than it was in the first half here, but still favouring Yass for this second half. Daniel Killick-Moran, he's up to the 40. They come across to the left through Bailey Lockhead. Bounces out of the tackle, makes another couple of metres. Secondary effort from Saipani Ayalupo. Now it's with Tory Freeman Key. Freeman Key up over the 40. Last tackle called by the referee. McQueen finds it hard to get a handle on. Has to delay the kick just a little bit. Don't think it made a great deal of difference in the end. There didn't seem to be anyone going through at great pace for the West Belconnen Warriors. They'll be wanting to pin the Magpies down, because this was where the Magpies were very good early in the first half. They really made a lot of ground very, very easily. Ayalupo. The kick comes from inside the 40. That might be a 40-20 if it turns right. It doesn't turn right. Instead fielded by Scott. They go through a couple of hands. Bit of a facial given to Thomas as he lies on the ground in the tackle. Nothing too much to worry about. Scott again, across to the right. That's Moa. Had the Killick-Moran option on his outside, but decided to go himself. And there's the big man now, Killick-Moran. Wasn't quite at full tilt. Optimism from Josh Hall to try and pick him up and drive him back a couple of metres. Now it's Connor Brebner up over the halfway line. Just getting a little bit darker here in the past few minutes. I just wonder whether there might actually be a little bit of rain falling out there as well. High ball taken by Swaffield. If it comes down to field goals today, I know Matt Lawrence has kicked one for the Magpies. I don't think anyone's kicked one this season for the Warriors. We're a long way from that being the equation. Newling, 15 short of halfway. Norton again. Gives it across to Danilchak. Danilchak looks like he's been in the wars. He's got the headband on and the jumper starting to hang considerably off his back. Watman runs through. Makes an easy 15. Up to the 30. Now it's with Freeman Key. Tory Freeman Key. It's been a better start to the second half here for the Warriors. Across to the left. No, we've got a whistle. Not square, I think, might be the call. Either way, Warriors elect to tap and go. They do that through Ashland. Up to the 10-metre line. Ashland across to the left now. Roberts gives it to Moa. Moa, 6 out. Plenty of players across to the right. Brebner gets them set now, right under the posts. Now across through McQueen. Spins out of the tackle. Could have offloaded to Ashland. There was space in front of him. Don't know if he saw it. Graham in a dummy half. Long ball. Gives it to Brebner. Brebner pushes. Tries to go underground. Good defence from the Magpies. Josh Hall working very hard in that regard. Now it's McQueen. And Andrew Swaffield watches the ball for Yass as he sees it roll over the line And out of the field of play. And so we'll come back to the 20 metres for the restart. There's just a bit of drizzle out there now. Down to 9 degrees, or just a tick under 9 degrees. Wind chill making it feel like about 6.5 according to the Bureau. Sawfield plays the ball for Scott Norton. Ialupo. No, actually Willie Pearce this time. He's taken the headgear off. That's fooled me. So, I see the kick downfield. Juggled by Riley Thomas, but he does well to hang on to it. Has to continue backwards and take a few steps. Now it's full of eye. Yeah, there you go. So Pearce was wearing black headgear in the first half. Now he hasn't got it. He's got the little man bun going there. See Ialupo over in the middle of the ground. He also has a slightly less pronounced one. I'm sure the players like to do that just to confuse people like me who sit here and look out for the identifying features. Ryan McQueen for the West Belconnen Warriors up over the halfway line. Doesn't make too much further. Graham in a dummy half. Killick Moran. Now it's with Brebner. Brebner tries to push Hall out of the way. Secondary tackle is good on him. Now the ball goes to ground off the hands of Ashland. And that is a knock-on. You won't get to see too many clearer knock-ons than that. Got to give credit to the Yass Magpies supporters. They've turned out in good numbers here this afternoon. Plenty of people in cars around the grounds, couple under umbrellas. There's one little tent set up over on the far side of the ground as well. Plenty of people in cars at both ends too. And Yass knowing that they could, with a bit of luck, make their way into the top two. They need to keep winning. Willie Pearce off the scrum. 9 short of halfway. Across to the right go the Magpies. I think that's Newling. He's not terribly happy. Wants to get up and play the ball. Now it's Ialupo. Big Saipani. Still going. 12 metres into the attacking half. Now it's Steve Norton. Showing all the skill you'd expect from him. Matt Lawrence. Finds Sean Davis. Last tackle. They change across to the right. Kick comes from Norton. That's well fielded. Very well fielded. The game continues at pace with Moa now. Again, talked about how hard he's been to stop in the past, and you see him making more metres with no momentum either. He just carried the tacklers further up the field, even inside his own half. Now that's popped out the back, and the referee is going to say you can't do that. And there's a very good reason why you can't do that, because the call had been held. So the penalty, or the scrum, I tell you, that could almost have been a penalty too. I reckon the ref's given the Warriors the benefit of the doubt and said there must have been a small knock-on in there, but it could almost have been a penalty for playing on after the call of held. Swafield. So he's about 25 out there, right in front of the post. They come across to the left now with Newling. Newling still going. They stay upright in the tackle for so long, Yass, which gives the rest of the line the opportunity to just get set. Ialupo. 10 metres out. Make it 9, make it 5. As I was saying, staying upright in the tackle for so long, which means that they're set both ways now. I think Scott Norton's going to send it across to the right. He does through Steve Norton. Benny Warner had just overrun that a little bit. And as you can see, it's getting a bit slippery out there. His feet kept going while his body stopped. Scott Norton. Across to Matt Lawrence. Lawrence gives it across to Sean Davis. Davis is taken out of action 10 metres short of the line. Tries to pull the penalty. Referee not fooled. Scott Norton. Kick comes from Lawrence. It's into the in-goal area. It's across the in-goal area. It's in front of Ricky Fullerby, and it bounces out over the dead ball line. Warriors will bring it back to the 20-metre line for the restart. And we're back underway. No mucking around. Luke Ashland up to the 30. They come across to the left. Brebner makes 15 on that one. Wants to get up and play it quickly. Jacob Graham asking for a quick play of the ball. Can't get it. It was Killick Moran who was acrobatic in his disposal. Now gives it to Tory Freeman Key after it goes through hands. Now Killick Moran's copped one in the face. I think he's coming across. Oh, jeez, he's going down too. He's right on the sideline and he has gone down like an absolute sack of spuds there. I don't know what's happened. He's copped one across the face. We'll try and keep an eye on that and play as we see Roberts put the ball skyward. Over in the corner, trying to tap it back into the field of play was Scott, but he's been unable to do that. Now, while the ball's out of play, just have another look down here at Daniel Killick Moran. This is right in front of me. Here, you can't see it on the camera. I really don't know what's happened. He's copped one right in the forehead. He's saying now to the trainer, he's in the hands of the trainer down here, and he's gesturing at the forehead. He's saying, it's got me right there, right in the forehead, right between the eyes. So I'm not suggesting any malice or anything in it. He's just copped a stray body part, and it's obviously stunned him because he got to the sideline, and he wasn't disoriented, but he just went down as though he'd been hit really hard. And I guess in the end, that's what had happened. Let's see what the Magpies can do as they try and come out of attack now on the far side of the ground. And, well, you can see it there. Another penalty. You've got to get back. You've got to get square on. It's not complicated stuff, and the Warriors haven't done themselves too many favours on that score today. Rain getting heavier outside. I'll try and update you on the weather conditions in a minute, see whether the temperature's dropped as well. Danilchak was involved in the play there, still going. He's certainly making his presence known. Newling. As they continue to charge into opposition territory. Now this might be a big push for the sideline here. Jesse Collins got in too late to help his teammate out in Sean Davis, and now it's on. Push and shove, push and shove. Referee's called time off, and at this point I'd love to tell you what's going on in the push and shove, but it's actually gone out of my field of view. There's half a dozen Yass players who showed absolutely no interest in getting involved in that. I can tell you Ayalupo wasn't interested, neither was Hall. Benny Warner was another one. And Jai Smith, the winger on the other side of the ground, well, he just decided to sort of wander around in his own space over there and not do a great deal. And I don't think anyone's copped anything in there. The referee's just said, let's just have the scrum, boys. McQueen feeds it, and the Warriors are back on the attack through Riley Thomas. Thomas eventually brought to ground. He was given a little bit of a helping hand as he got up to play the ball. They're starting to make more ground in the tackles now. That was Graham. Freeman Key could have got involved there, but they just couldn't get the ball to him. It was Thomas again. Now it's with Freeman Key. After Graham goes a little bit further. Yeah, down just a tick below 9 degrees now, and it feels like 6.5 according to the Bureau. So the cold conditions well and truly have arrived. Big push from Mitch Shaw for the Warriors. The kick will come from Graham, and it's probably too deep. It is too deep. It goes in touch, on the full, in goal. Take your pick. We come back to the 20. It is definitely getting very uncomfortable outside. Great work by our camera operator up on the roof of the officials box here at Walker Park in Yass for this Osbreakers Canberra Raiders Cup Round 13 fixture. First time we've come to Yass. I hope it's not the last. It's been an enjoyable afternoon here. Willie Peace for the Magpies. Now to Ialupo. Danilchak gets up to the halfway line and change. So you'll notice that the real difference here is Yass are not making ground as easily as they did in the first half. Is that Thomas over there? I think it might be. So he's shuffling around a little bit on the wing. Now it goes to Scott. There's the winger. That's who I was expecting to be on the receiving end of that kick. So maybe Thomas and Scott have swapped winger and centre roles for a couple of sets just to change things up a bit. Very compressed attacking line. Jacob Graham's day might be done. Sam Finnegan comes back out now. He'll be taking over at dummy half any second in the 9 jersey. He won't get on this plate. Ashland takes it up to the halfway. Like I said, the hairstyles between Ashland and Finnegan very similar. McQueen with the kick across the field, and I didn't think it was that hard. It's been caught like it was a medicine ball there by Jai Smith. No damage done, even though he landed on his behind. No quarter asked, no quarter given. And we played 15 minutes in the second half. Score remains 6-all. You're at Walker Park in Yass. This has been a cracker. See, you don't need to have a 30, 35 or 30 or 40 point game. A couple of tries is all you need for the excitement. Willie Peace on the way for the Yass Magpies, up over halfway. This game's really been fought largely between the two 20-metre lines, and it's been fantastic for it. Lawrence with the kick. Gets it down towards Riley Thomas. Now Thomas has lost that backwards for mine. Referee agrees with that call. Thomas has turned around, picked it up, gets up to the 10-metre line. Just wondering where Chris Thorley is. Haven't seen the fullback for the Warriors out there, and I just wonder whether he's got himself injured, and it's just upset their back three. I think there just doesn't seem to be the same combination this half as there was in the first 40. That ball's been lost. Has it been knocked on? Hasn't been knocked on. Doesn't matter. It's been picked up by Willie Peace. Yes, on the attack here out of nothing. Matt Lawrence in a dummy half to Danilchak. Kyle Danilchak still going. That's the 10-metre line just in front of him. Scott Norton now onto Mitch Smith. Smith pushes towards the line. He's only a couple of metres out. Scott Norton, Matt Lawrence. Now it's with Willie Peace. Willie Peace loses the ball out behind him, picked up off the ground by Jesse Collins. I think it's gone backwards and then bounced forward, and he's picked it up. And it's been called a try. Jesse Collins gets a double for the day. Both of them in the corner, which is what you'd expect from a winger. Well, Jesse Collins, the beneficiary there in the end of some ball insecurity from the West Belconnen Warriors. I'm surprised it didn't cost them in the first half. They gave up a lot of football in the first half, West Belconnen, but Yass were unable to convert that into points this time. We saw the ball come loose on about the 40-metre line, was picked up. Then they got it to Danilchak, who just pushed forward and pushed forward. And then, well, there was a little bit of luck in it, with the ball coming out the back from Willie Peace. I don't know whether he was trying to pass it or whether it was a fumble. And again, as I said in the first half, I don't have the advantage of replay, being able to view the replays here. So I can't tell you whether he was trying to pass it or whether it was a fumble out the back, but it went out the back. And Collins read it remarkably well, especially as it bounced and seemed to go forward from my memory. He picked it up, took it through, and planted it over the stripe. Sean Davis with that kick, and it scrapes the outside of the posts and is waved away. So it remains 10 points to 6. 22 remaining here at Walker Park in Yass. Sponsored by the Belconnen. So we're back into the action. No mucking around. And suddenly, West Belconnen have it all to do once again. Yass. Well, they can maintain their grip on third spot and mount a challenge to the two powerhouse Queanbeyan sides as the season goes on. I think the rain's getting a bit heavier and the clouds getting a bit lower here. It's certainly getting darker at Walker Park in Yass. Thankful for the lighting this afternoon. Referee takes an eternity to call held for Mitch Smith. Now the kick from Matt Lawrence down into the corner where there's nobody home. Cameron Scott's finally getting back to pick it up. Yeah, so Riley Thomas has definitely moved back to fullback. Scott's staying out on the wing and Chris Thorley missing in action. So I'm not sure what's happened to him, whether he's off for tactical reasons or whether he's injured. I would imagine you wouldn't bring him off for anything other than an injury. Really does a great job of directing the traffic and setting them up, especially off the back of kicks from the opposition. Tanalala Moa. We see a substitution made for West Belconnen, and coming back on is Harrison Watman. That was Moa. Maybe Lockhead. He's hardly played today. You can tell that because he's still got a virtually clean jumper on. Everyone else is wearing just a little bit of dirt. Tory Freeman Key. Bustles and hustles and bustles and hustles. The referee spotted something further back. Oh, it's the trainer again. Now, the trainer got sent to the bin, if you like, in the first half. And they had two trainers on the field at one stage. You're only allowed to have the one. And the trainer was dispatched from the field. And now he's been back out there. I can only assume at a time when he wasn't supposed to be out there. The referee spotted it, brought it downfield, and there may have even been a bit of back chat because I think the penalty was marked another 10 upfield. So Yass are on the attack, and that's Willie Peace. Willie Peace, the line is there, and the sideline is also there, so West Belconnen get out of jail on that one. And you can see it means a lot to them as they charge in. Just don't know if it was necessary from Yass to really go hell for leather on the first tackle. I understand trying to catch the opposition a bit flat-footed on the first tackle after a penalty, but just don't know if they needed to quite go so hard. They've only got a 4-point lead, 19 minutes or so to go. Instead, West Belconnen to feed the scrum at their own end. So they come out. The 30-metre line now, the Warriors. That was Watman. Now it's a Freeman Key. He's been one of their best today. Across to the right, through Lockhead. Dummy half is Finnegan, gives it across to Ashland. He gets up to the 40-metre line. Across to the right through McQueen. McQueen with the kick. Well taken there by Jesse Collins. It's a bit hard for me to see through there. Now there's so much rainwater on the window. Collins did well to hold on to the ball, especially as he lost his footing just a little bit. Yass trying to work it out through there from inside their own 20, and the rain getting heavier now. Yeah. Winter has well and truly arrived. Danilchak, is that Danilchak there? He's lost the headband. There, he's still got the torn jumper on. That's Newling. Scott Norton again. Finds Mitch Smith. Held is the call. West Belconnen need to be very careful they don't give away a penalty there. I reckon it was very close to giving one away. Matt Lawrence finally gets a kick in. It's fielded on the half volley by Ricky Fullerby. Fullerby gets up to the 40. Quick ball. McQueen. They don't make too much ground this time. Now it's with Lockhead. Bailey Lockhead bounces out of one tackle, bounces out of the second. Both of those attempts from Hall. And he goes to ground. Freeman Key. Another 10 metres. He's been one of the best for the Warriors today. Finnegan goes to the right, gives it to Thomas. McQueen does well to grab it from behind and then loses it after he loses his footing. And we've got another Warriors player down injured as well. Can't tell you anything about this guy. He's got a couple of tats on his forearm that I hadn't previously noticed, but that's about all I can tell you. Wondering if it's Finnegan. It's Riley Thomas, and they won't want to lose him if they've already lost Chris Thorley. They really won't want to lose him. It'll leave a big hole in their back line. So it's Yass on the attack again. Go from Chuck Warner to Steve Norton. That was Josh Hall who was wrapped up with it. Little kick comes through. So it's been yet another reshuffle of the back line for the West Belconnen Warriors. We've got, has Fullerby moved back to fullback? I think he might have. With Riley Thomas now playing on the wing on this side, and I think he might be about to come off. He's sort of holding his right arm funny as well. He just doesn't look to be in a good way. I think they're trying to get him off at the first available opportunity. He's still in the line, but he's grabbing at his rib cage, and that's never a good sign. Tory Freeman Key has the ball. I'm just keeping an eye on Riley Thomas. He's on this side. They go the other way from him. Good run from Ryan McQueen. Gives it to Mitch Shaw. Haven't seen a number 8 kick too often. He's kicked pretty well, actually. Got it down into the far corner. Jay Smith had to turn around. He goes sideways across the field. Wrapped up 10 out from his own posts, just in front of them. Now it's Willie Peace. As they come across. No great yards being made by Scott Norton. Steve Norton in the headgear. They've got an overlap to the right. The kick comes from Matt Lawrence. Down to the corner. Riley Thomas will go back and pick it up now. This will be the test as to what kind of shape he's in. He's not terribly keen to be tackled. Offloads. Passes it across to Ricky Fullerby. Thomas in a dummy half. This time he does get tackled. Smith and Chuck Warner in there, I think it was. Across to the right. Taniela Moa. Moa still going. And he's got to get the penalty there. He does get the penalty. He was called, held, and they just didn't get off him. So West Belconnen onto the attack. I think the rain has eased up a bit now. Just means they're cold and wet out there without the rain falling. Freeman Key. Finnegan in a dummy half. Ashland gets it onto Mitch Shaw. Shaw 25 out. Now it's with McQueen. No idea who he passed it on to. I just can't quite pick it up through a very wet window. Back to McQueen. Gives it to Freeman Key. Freeman Key's a couple of metres out. They've got Lockhead and Thomas one way. Instead they go the other to McQueen. Pushes towards the line. Last tackle called from the referee. Go across to the left. Long ball finds Roberts. It's on the ground, and Moa has dived. Has he got the try? No, he hasn't. It's been forced by Yass. So Moa went flying through. Looked like he may have got a hand on it, but it was a bit hard to tell. We're going to get very cold in the commentary box now, boys. I'm terribly sorry, but we need the window open. I can't see what's going on down there. It'll be a restart from under the posts. He has to kick with the assistance of a little bit of breeze. It'll skid here because the ground is now quite wet and quite slippery, as you saw there from Harry Watman. As he tried to get out of first gear, lost his traction, went down. Made 18 metres out of it in the end. That's not a bad result from a bloke who couldn't get going. Finnegan at dummy half. Now gives it to Ashland. Back to the right through McQueen. McQueen's still going, and he's still going as McQueen. If he's got the step, he can get there. Good defence from the Magpies to force him back. And I've heard a whistle in there, but I can't tell you what's happened. We've got time off called. As I've mentioned a couple of times, I can't see the screen today, and that part of the field, all I can do is look through a window. Have you ever been to the National Gallery in Victoria where you see that water feature with the water running down the window? Yeah, it's very, very hard to see through that. Anyway, it's a scrum feed to the Warriors. So Shaw takes it. They've got 6 tackles from only 10 metres out. Rain started up again. Back to the right. Watman towards the posts. Gets down. Just short. Across to the right. Deep pass back to McQueen. He's got Freeman Key there. Freeman Key has the ball, and I think he's got it down. Looks like he's got it down for mine. Referee checks with the touch judge, and it's a try. We've got it all tied up with 11 to go. This will not be an easy conversion, but that's a great try to Tory Freeman Key. He doesn't score many. It's only his 3rd for the season. He worked hard. He's worked hard all day, and that's just reward. So 11 to go. We have 10 apiece. Now maybe we start to wonder about who can kick the field goals. So Tory Freeman Key, the try scorer. Just goes to show the value of sustained possession. And you can hang on to it for a few tackles. Eventually you've got to get the weight of possession's got to tell. Roberts has 18 goals for the season. This one won't necessarily be terribly easy. He's kicking into the wind and the rain, but he's done a pretty good job with it. And with his 2nd conversion of the day, has given West Belconnen Warriors the lead for the first time in the match. So 10 left on the clock. Everything to play for. 2 points the difference is nothing in the modern game of football. We know that. But now, every possession for West Belconnen makes life just that little bit harder for the Yass Magpies. They come up in numbers. Early in the tackle count, Mitch Smith, one of them. Chook Warner, another. Now it's with Taniela Moa for the West Belconnen Warriors. They come across to the right and give it to Daniel Killick Moran. The big man, biggest man out there on the field. Actually, no, that's the other big fella. That was Mitch Shaw. So I haven't seen Moran out there for a little while. I thought he might have come back on late in the day. Tory Freeman Key scored the try a minute ago. He's done well to make ground all day. Finnegan with the kick. Into the corner. 9 left on the clock. A long way for Yass to go. Swaffield plays it back to Steve Norton. Big charge from Sam Satogi. Gets it up outside his own 30. Did he lose that in there? He did. It's been picked up by the Warriors. Thought he might have knocked it on, I tell you. It's been interesting. The Warriors were the ones who were coughing up possession early in the piece, in the first half. But just lately, Yass have given it up on a couple of times. And maybe, just maybe, that'll be the tail of the tape. Clock ticks down, 8 minutes remaining. Referee calls time off. We've got, that looks like Satogi down there, just after a little bit of attention on his right leg, left leg. Is it a cramp? Hamstring, knee. Trainer's checking out the knee down there. Everyone gets a breather. Couple of shouts of encouragement. Just having a look through the binoculars at the two forward packs there for the scrum. That'll be Satogi coming off. That's not a good sign for Yass. His right knee just... Hang on. That's his left knee. Can't see any swelling or anything through the binoculars, but he's very, very slow to come off. So it'll be Saipani Aolupo to come back on. I don't think he's been off terribly long. Won't have had much of a rest. What I was going to say, having a look through the binoculars at the forward packs there while the injury for Satogi was being attended to. And I can certainly tell you the body language more positive from the men in blue. Eight to go. Time back on. Lockhead. Up over the 30. West Belconnen with the luxury of being able to take just a little bit more time if they need to. Watman. Over the 20. Finning in a dummy half. Fires it across to Roberts. I reckon he's put a clean jersey on. Certainly seems a lighter shade of blue than his teammates. Across to the right through Shaw. Shaw still going. Couple of metres short. Referee in good position. Long ball will score another try here. They don't do it. McQueen instead takes it. Pushed back to the 10. Last tackle called. Over to the left. Through Roberts. Roberts runs behind a couple of his own players and his kick is regathered very, very quickly by Willie Peace, I think it is. That's the other one. Now we see the ball with Chuck Warner. Got a long way to go, but they're suddenly playing with a bit more urgency. Over the far side, it's Benny Warner. Oh, I might have given him a little tap on the way past. Who can pull something out of the hat for the Magpies? Well, the Norton brothers have got plenty of tricks. Round the back through Lawrence. Lawrence goes for the midfield bomb. Thomas underneath it, knocks it back. Dangerous. Oh, taken without it. Potentially was Collins. He had his hand on it. So it's going to be called a knock-on from Yass there after Thomas. Geez, I don't know what he was doing there. Trying to tap it back to Fullerby. He never got enough on it. It was almost like he was playing a tennis shot with a squash racket. He just tapped it and it went nowhere. And Collins was charging in. Had Collins had another half a step, would have been a very, very different outcome. So West Belconnen, well, sometimes better to be lucky than good, and they were definitely luckier as opposed to good off that midfield bomb. We're into the last 5 minutes, 2 points the difference at Walker Park, Yass. And the West Belconnen Warriors will stretch out every possession they can for as long as they can. Moa plays it back. Another try for them would just about seal the deal, you'd imagine. Roberts up over the 40. Putting your hands out might have been forward to Ashland. Anyway, ball has been lost in there, so regardless of whether it was a forward pass, he hasn't been able to hang on to it anyway. So Yass, get another chance. Clock Clock on the sideline down into the last 4 minutes. Yes, on the attack through Scott Norton. The 35 out. Chook Warner comes into dummy half. Gives it to Steve Norton. They're running around between each other at the moment. That's not going to get you too much further up the field. Questionable pass to Shaw. Smith, rather. Smith flattened. From Warner to Lawrence to Davis. Comes back to Lawrence. Lawrence still going. 8 out. Last tackle called. What have they got? Swaffield puts a hand down for it. Finally gets it. Scott Norton goes for the sky. Underneath it is Cameron Scott. Also in there is Ricky Fullerby, and Fullerby takes it. Does well. Clock ticked down. Another minute. 3 to go. Now Moa goes sideways. Almost voluntary in the tackle. The West Belconnen trainer will want to make sure he keeps out of the eyesight of the referee. He's under the posts there. Now McQueen is going across to the left. We've got a bit of push and shove and a bit of argy-bargy here. And now he's got him. I knew he'd get him. I'd spotted him in there. He was making far too much noise and gesturing far too much. I suspect he's been sent for the rest of the day. And I just wonder whether there'll be some action to follow. Because that's 3 times today that train has been ordered from the field. And you've just got to start to wonder what is going on. In fact, both trainers have been ordered from the field. So, well, there you go. We'll see game 13 on 13. When was the last time you saw that in rugby league? All levels, you get the trainers all over the place. It's like we're back to the 1980s. I love it. Last 3 minutes, 2 points the difference. And the side in the lead with the ball. Last tackle. Who's it going to be? Well, the kick goes towards Swaffield. He's got a full head of steam up. Takes it inside his 40. Gets over that. Wrapped up by Moa. And 2 minutes to go. You'd imagine that Yass, if they don't score off this one, they'll probably get one more chance. That was Jai Smith. They come across to the left. Lose the ball. Was Davis had it. Didn't seem to have a great grip on it. Shaped to pass, changed his mind, got tackled, lost the ball. It goes to ground. Yass will rush in. There's 5 in the forward pack. Waiting for the 6th one to get in there. Not happening. Well, the trainers have come back on there behind the referee's back. Okay, West Belconnen win the scrum. Fullerby has it. Clock not quite into the last minute yet. Yes, might get one more chance. Fullerby will take as long as he possibly can to get up. You can see him do that there. Now it goes with Watman. I'm hearing the calls of slow it up, slow it up. 50 seconds remaining. They come to the right through Tory Freeman Key. He doesn't know how to go slow. Very much an all or nothing proposition. Finnegan gives it across to Brebner. Brebner taken maybe a little bit high. You don't need a stink on now with 30 seconds left on the clock. Bit of push and shove. Riley Thomas and Sean Davis both had hold of each other's jerseys. There was a lot of push and shove and a lot of smiling going on in there. There was absolutely nothing in it. 24 seconds left on the clock. The clock's still ticking. West Belconnen are going to get the penalty here, and I think that we're going to have a very much an anticlimactic finish to this game. They're not even going to take the shot for goal. They're just going to kick it for the sideline. That's one way to kill the clock. Kick for the sideline. Clock hits 0. There's the siren. And it's kicked straight back into touch by Ryan McQueen. And for 62 minutes, Yass held the lead. For the last 11 minutes of the game, it was West Belconnen who had the advantage on the scoreboard. And they get home 12 points to 10 here at Walker Park. 2 tries to Jesse Collins for Yass, and 1 from 2 for Sean Davis. For West Belconnen, it was Cameron Scott and Tory Freeman Key who scored the tries. Robert Roberts with 2 conversions. We'll have a chat with the man of the match shortly here on Bar TV. But repeating the full-time score, West Belconnen 12, Yass Magpies 10.
On such a lousy afternoon. So look forward to your company back when we take on the Queanbeyan Blues 22nd of July.
We good?
Yeah, right.
1, 2, 1, 2.
That's pretty good.
We're good? Okay.
Hold on. You ready? Yep.
All right. And now with our Bar TV man of the match, Tori Freeman Key from the West Belconnen Warriors. Tori, good game.
Yeah, she was a good game and terrible conditions for it, but got in the grind there in the end and got the 2 points, which was good. So, yeah.
It's the first real wintry conditions we've had this year. How difficult was it to adjust?
Yeah, it's been good this winter so far, been dry anyway, but yeah, she was definitely wet out there. But I think there was always going to be a lot of errors in the game, but I think our boys just stuck in and defended real well and just went in there for each other, so it was good to get the result.
A lot of ball handling errors from your guys in the first half. Was that a focus at half time to just hang on to the pill in the second 40?
Yeah, we spoke that there would be errors in the game due to the conditions, but I think a lot were on our fault as well. But yeah, we just had to stick with our defence there, and it was well. So.
And take us through the match-winning try you scored.
Oh, I didn't do much. I think Ryan did most of the hard work. He was just lucky to pop it over. I just put it down. So, but I'll take a pie when I can. So.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations today. You made plenty of metres in attack and some good tackles in defence, and then scored the try 11 minutes from full time. Good win today, and keep that quest for a finals berth alive.
That's it. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Cheers, everyone.
Tori Freeman Key, our man of the match here on Bar TV. That'll do us for today. Thank you very much for your company. On behalf of a very wet broadcast team, this is Chris Coleman saying thanks for your company from Walker Park in Yass this afternoon.